and welcome to Teaching Natural. My name's Dare. I'm an 8th year high school English teacher in SoCal or Southern California, and this video is all about the benefits of being a teacher. When I talk about benefits, I'm not talking about the altruistic part of being a teacher. Obviously, there are benefits of helping your community and helping students grow. But in this case, teaching is a profession. So I want to talk about benefits to employment of teaching as a job, so that hopefully this will help you decide if teaching is for you. Starting off with the first benefit, I will say, is the salary schedule. As a public school employee, I know exactly how much money I will make for however many units I have, as well as however many years that I've been teaching. And I did a video breaking down salary schedules and how you know what you'll be paid as a teacher. So I'll link that and you can go ahead and check that video out. But it is very nice to know that as a teacher, every year with my union, every year I'm getting a raise. And with most unions, every year a teacher is getting a raise by how many years they've been teaching. As well as, as a teacher, you're always constantly learning. So you are getting paid, you are getting compensated for the credits or the professional development that you have to do. That is not typical in every job. Not every job gets a cost of living raise or just gets a raise every year. And that raise can be $2,000, $3,000. So financially, that really is a benefit of teaching. Staying with financially, another benefit of teaching public school is that I have a pension or a retirement plan. And I am learning from my friends who are not in the education sector or who are not in public service, because I am a government employee and teachers in the public school districts are government employees. I am learning that pensions are not a regular average offering. And so a pension means that every month I am contributing, or I should say every paycheck, I do get paid monthly, but every paycheck I am contributing a certain amount of money into my pension, CalSTRS. When I retire, I get that money for the rest of my life. And if I have a dependent or if I have a spouse or someone who would depend on my income, I can split my pension so that even after I die, they would be able to continue to collect my pension. That is completely unheard of in a lot of different professions. A lot of professions have to have an investment account like a 401k or other accounts like a Roth IRA. But with teaching and government employees, I am specifically given a pension that I am contributing to. And then on top of that, I can have a 457B or a 403B, which is similar to a 401k. So on top of my pension, I can have other retirement investment accounts. And that is just some security that I really love about the teaching profession. The next benefit of being a teacher for me is absolutely my insurance. I'm talking health insurance, dental, vision, life insurance, mental health insurance, so that I can go to a therapist, or for example, I get the Calm app for free as a part of my union. And then I also, it's morbid to think about, but I do have incidental homicidal death in case there is a school shooting and I die in a school shooting. I do have life insurance for that. And all of these benefits like vision, dental, mental health, all of that comes out of my employer, my district. I don't pay for it out of my own check. So that is an excellent benefit of being a teacher, is having these different insurances so that you don't have to worry about going to the doctor or going to the dentist, or what happens to you in any case, or a disastrous case. How is your family going to be able to pay for your burial or for bills, anything like that? That is covered as a teacher. For teachers who have family members, if they want to insure their family members, there is a little bit of a cost incurred, and that's different for every district. But for my district specifically, I do not pay anything out of my check for my health insurance or any other kind of insurance. I could have a copay. For me personally, going to the doctor, my copay is $10. So I will take that. That is absolutely a benefit, is having these, the usual benefits that people think of when they think of a job, employment, and compensation. The thing that most people know as a benefit of being a teacher, vacation. I honestly do not know if I could work a job where you just get 2 weeks or 6 weeks of vacation, because knowing that I have summer break and winter break and all of the federal holidays and the state holidays, that is a relief. I don't know a single teacher who doesn't work sometime during the holiday, but just having those holidays on the regular for when you're feeling burnt out or when you need to do something with your family or just when you need to get your oil change, having those holidays is incredible. On top of vacations, there's also sick leave. So I get 10 days of sick leave every year, and that sick leave accumulates. So if I don't use it, I don't lose it. At the end of my career, when I'm ready to retire, I can cash in those sick days for extra time. So I can go out maybe a year early if I have a whole year of sick leave built up. And a great thing about being a public school employee in California is I do not lose my sick leave if I transfer districts. So no matter what school district I work in, as long as it's a public school district, I can take my sick leave with me. Another benefit is one that many people have heard of, and that's student loan forgiveness. So there are two types of student loan forgiveness that can apply to teachers, and teachers can use them both. The first is public service loan forgiveness. So this is working as a public educator in some form of education. It doesn't have to be just a classroom teacher. So public service loan forgiveness, you do your 10 years, you make your 120 payments, and then that loan is forgiven. On top of student loan forgiveness, teachers also have their own forgiveness. It's called teacher loan forgiveness. And this is you work 5 consecutive years, you can get up to $17,500 forgiven off of your student loan, depending on what type of teacher you are. So for instance, math, science, and special education can get up to $17,500 off. And then other teachers can get up to $5,000 off. And this is whether you are an elementary school teacher, a middle school teacher, or a high school teacher. We call it primary/elementary and secondary. So that is a huge benefit for teachers, is that there are 2 ways that teachers can get loan forgiveness, both through PSLF and teacher loan forgiveness. If you are aiming for loan forgiveness, just make sure you read all of the fine print and you read how those 2 things work together and how they cannot be applied at the same time. But that is completely a benefit that I love about teaching, is that I know my public service is going to help me pay down my student loans. Another benefit of teaching are discounts called the Good Neighbor discount. So for example, a lot of public service teachers can get loans for houses or for cars as a good neighbor for being a teacher. And so there are plenty of different businesses and banks that give loans for teachers to help them with whatever it is they are seeking a loan for. So look into that for whatever business, or if you're looking for a home, look into Good Neighbor discounts for teachers. Another thing I absolutely love about being a teacher is having union protection. As a public school teacher, knowing that I have someone who is fighting for me, it's immeasurable in the peace of mind that it gives me, because I know that if something's wrong with my job, or if there is unsafe work conditions, or just fighting for those higher salaries, fighting for smaller class sizes, fighting for the resources, knowing that I have my union as backup with bigger guns, and I should say bigger guns as in more people who are trying to negotiate at the table on my behalf and on the behalf of others that are public school teachers. I absolutely love being a part of a union. I am always going to be pro-union, and the legal services that my union can give is like really incredible. The fact that I don't have to pay out of pocket for outside legal counsel, I have it by paying my union dues. In addition to the legal parts of my union, unions give a lot of discounts. I talked about earlier how I have the Calm app. That's because I am a union member. My union has negotiated getting a benefit from Calm, that business. But other businesses such as Disney and Regal with movie tickets, restaurants, other amusement parks, there are a lot of union discounts that are available for teachers. And I am just now starting to really look into those benefits and take advantage of them. But I am loving all of the benefits that I am getting for my union. Outside of union discounts, obviously there are other businesses that offer teacher discounts. And so I always ask whenever I'm shopping, do you have a teacher's discount or an educator discount, a public service discount, anything like that? I am always asking about discounts because who doesn't love getting a discount or having something on sale? And so I make sure that I always have a picture of my educator's badge in my phone in case they say, yes, we do have a teacher discount. Let me see your badge or some sort of proof that you work at a school. I can always show that to get that discount. The last benefit of being a teacher that I will talk about is professional development. I absolutely am a lifetime learner. I love reading. I love learning new things. And teaching is a profession through its very nature that you are always learning. And so having free professional development through the California Teachers Association, my union, is great. And on top of, free professional development and free college units, I can also pay a discounted rate for those college units. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to do a video more about the CTA virtual pass because this summer I have really been taking advantage of all of those professional development courses that are offered, both to help me be a better human and a better teacher. But on top of the professional development, there are a lot of businesses like Google or, career focused education where if you say that you are a teacher, they will invite you to come in, or they'll say we have a special program where you can come in, you can learn, and you can give that information to your students. And so that is one thing I love about teaching, is that I am always able to be learning. And for the most part, it is either free or it is at a heavily discounted rate. And I can take that education and apply it directly into my life and directly into my classroom. So those were just some of the benefits of the employment side of being a teacher. I hope you learned something from this, or you're thinking, hey, does my state have something like this? Or are there other businesses that I maybe didn't think about that might have discounts or support for being a teacher? In the meantime and in between time, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.